Welcome back to Coach Factory. I'm Kathy. This is the channel where we talk about your coaching business, how to get more clients, make more money, have more fun. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but people are looking for personalized solutions. I mean, we can't really even sell coaching unless we understand where someone's at, the problems that they're facing, their aspirations, and how we get them there, right? We can't just sell coaching like we sell a book or the way we sell other types of products. To sell coaching, it's a very personalized experience. Wouldn't you like to know more about the prospects who decide to engage with you because of some content that you've produced? If so, this episode of Coach Factory is for you. Now, I recently did a review of over 100 coaching websites to try to find what best practices were being implemented by successful coaches. And there were a couple of interesting things that popped out. Homepage calls to action to take an assessment, take a quiz. This is ingenious, but it kind of goes along with what we know about marketing right now anyway. We know that people are overwhelmed with content, that people need personalized solutions, that people want to know about themselves more than about anything else. So an assessment is a perfect way to start engaging with a prospect. So I've seen a number of coaches do this, and it's like motivation code, right? People want to know about themselves. They don't necessarily want to know about motivational science, like tell me how I'm motivated, how I can get going. People want to know about themselves. So if you can give someone a free tool that they can know better about themselves as it relates to your niche, you're going to be halfway there. Also, it's going to give you market insights, right? If somebody is coming to your website because of some content you've produced on social media and they come to your website to learn more, they see that assessment and they're like, okay, I'll bite. You need to know who they are and where they're at. Gives you insights into your niche, gives you insights in how to coach better, how to market better, what content to create. It is a treasure trove of insights. But how do you do this? Well, there are a number of tools out there that make creating these types of assessments super easy to do. I've got some links down below of some places where you can create an assessment. Now, I use WordPress on my site, and one of the tools that I use is a form plugin that has great spam protection and everything, but it also has an additional plugin that allows me to do a quiz, and I can provide the results of those quizzes to people after they take them. And I'm going to collect some email addresses so that I can know specifically this prospect answered the quiz in this way. But what are some best practices of doing this type of assessment? First, we have to understand the quiz purpose. Now, it has to be related to your niche. It has to be related to the people who are coming to you that fit your ideal customer profile. So we need to understand, what are we trying to assess here? Are we assessing their personality traits, their career strengths? Are we assessing their priorities? Are we assessing the likelihood of their success with a fitness program? You have to decide what it is that you're assessing and what information you're going to provide back to that site visitor. It has to be aligned to your coaching niche, has to be something that people are truly interested in. And we need to keep it concise. Nobody wants to sit there and answer 50 questions in an assessment to just hear back, oh, well, yeah, you'd be great for coaching. That is just going to put a bad taste into someone's mouth. So we want to have concise, well thought out questions, and maybe multiple choice so it's nice and easy. Or maybe we're going to do a scale on a scale of 1 to 10. How successful were you the last time you started a fitness program? These types of things. Keep it concise and keep it focused on one specific thing. Now, you might have the situation come up as you're developing this kind of assessment. Maybe I want to test out if somebody is just going through having a kid and they want to take off the baby weight, or maybe they have been sitting in a desk job and inactive for a long time. You need to get much more focused with that, understand who your ideal customer is for this specific assessment. If you deal with a lot of different ideal customers, you need to have a lot of different assessments. Don't start asking someone if they are sitting at a desk job the last time they had a child. It's just going to be out of left field, and you just don't have time for that. It needs to be concise, needs to get to the point, and it needs to focus on one singular problem and the issues that surround that. You can't make it a catch-all type of thing. Now, after somebody goes through your assessment and provides answers of where they're at, they're going to want something back. So this needs to be some kind of report, something that is going to be helpful to them based on where they're at. Ask very specific information about what someone is going through. Get as much detail as possible, and then provide some kind of background information, research, scientific studies, whatever you've got in your niche that is specific to someone. Let's say somebody is dealing with weight gain because of blood sugar metabolic issues. They take your assessment and you see they're answering that their blood sugar is high, that they have, weight around their middle, whatever these issues are. Make sure you track all of these things and then provide a detailed report that they get as soon as possible, immediately if you can. Detailed report that tells them where they're at and what they can do about it, how they can solve that problem. Beyond your coaching, what if they don't even engage with you for coaching? How can they solve that problem? Because we know as coaches, 90% of the time, people can just go research this type of information on the internet. They can find the answers out there if they search hard enough and if they're dedicated enough, but they're not coming to you for information solely. They're coming to you for the support. They're coming to you for personalization. They're coming to you for guidance. And what better way to show that you're personalizing an experience than putting a personalized assessment right on your homepage that somebody can dive into. Now, once somebody gets that report, the call to action at the end of that report is, do you want to discuss these results? Book a discovery call. Well, we wouldn't necessarily call it a discovery call. Let's call it an assessment review so that you can actually go over what their assessment is saying and so that they can understand the results, what they can do. And that's the place where you can determine whether or not this person is fit for coaching with you. Make sure you are capturing email addresses for this for a couple of reasons. First of all, we want to be sure that we can communicate with this person and we want to be able to send them the report. Maybe this is something that you don't necessarily show them on the screen as they are finishing the assessment. This is something that you email to them. They have to provide an email address. The other thing that you can do is, based upon the results, consider what type of conversation you want to have with this person in terms of sequences. Now, maybe you look at all of the results that you're getting and you can kind of determine what kind of niches within your niche these people might fit into. You might see a bunch of people who don't have blood sugar issues and they're trying to lose weight. And those people wouldn't go into something where you're talking about metabolic problems. They would go into more motivational exercise, those types of things. So you can segment these people based upon the answers to the questions within your assessment. Your conversations after they take this assessment can become so much more personalized. It's almost like you're talking right to them. And make sure you collect not just their email address, but first name. Personalize those emails. Hey, Kathy, thanks for taking the assessment. Here are your results. Email number 2. You mentioned in your results that you were having specific problem with this. Well, I have some additional research on that, so I wanted to provide that to you as well. Email number 3. Another thing that you said in your assessment is that you're having an issue with this other problem. I'd love to learn more about that. Would you be willing to jump on a call so you can tell me more about what you've experienced? Frame it like you're doing market research, like you're trying to understand your prospects better, your business better. Frame it in a way that they are actually helping you. People are much more likely to book a call if they know that they're providing information rather than being sold to. This way, not only do you get more information, but you can start that sales as coaching process where you're not actually selling them, you're actually coaching them to the best decision for them. And if it includes coaching and it makes sense, you'll know in that call and you can guide them to make the right decision for them. Make sure that you promote the quiz. This would be something that I would even run some social media advertising for. If you want to know if you fit within this profile, take our free quiz and learn more. It's a great way to build your email list, to find new prospects, find new clients. Make sure you promote this assessment and make sure you put it right in that call to action on your homepage, because you know this is the most important thing. Learning more about your prospects and your clients, learning more about your business. There's nothing more important than that. So even if you have an offer, that offer can get emailed in, email number 4 to your prospects. So make sure this is something that you're promoting, not just on social media, but that your website displays it prominently as well. And once you develop your assessment, don't just leave it as is. Test it, iterate on it. Maybe you start getting all sorts of responses back that say something that you weren't expecting. Change your questions. Ask a different question, have different multiple choice answers. If something's not working, maybe you need to rephrase a question so that it is more clear, but just watch your results closely. Really, when you are collecting market data, there's nothing more important. This is giving you insight to not just the specific prospect, but it's giving you insight into the market as a whole. Because if one person is saying something, there's probably other people out there who are saying something as well. It might change your marketing strategy altogether. And one final note about security. If you are collecting any kind of medical information in order to do an assessment, you may fall under HIPAA laws. Check with your legal advisor. If you are collecting information and you are collecting from people who fit under data protection guidelines, you need to ensure that you have a way to delete someone's data and have a way for them to tell you that they want to delete that data. You have to adhere to GDPR if someone's in Europe, and numerous states in the United States have rules. Check with your local jurisdictions as well. If you are collecting personal information about people, you want to make sure that you're following all appropriate rules, guidelines, and laws. You don't want to get into any kind of trouble when you are collecting this kind of information. But there's nothing more powerful than understanding your market. For me, when someone comes to me and asks me just a simple question, I'm like, okay, here's the answer, but also how do I turn this into general content? Because if one person's asking me this question or one person is telling me this is my problem, there are probably hundreds of other people out there who are experiencing the exact same thing. Every time I have done that in my entire marketing career, listened to my audience and extrapolated the data that they're telling me into content that can help other people, whether it's video, whether it's a blog post, whether it's coaching, am doing a better job of marketing when I listen to what my clients are saying. So I am actually going to be implementing this on my site. I am going through some research right now, trying to determine exactly how I'm going to frame all of my questions and who my ideal customer is going to be for this assessment, because I talk to people about all sorts of topics. So what is it that I want to know about a specific segment? I'm still thinking through all of this. And actually, I am using AI. I'm asking my AI tool for its thoughts about how I can best do this. And I might overrule a few of the things that it has told me already. Go with your gut, go with what you know, but use AI to frame these types of things. And also use AI to figure out how your scoring for this type of assessment is going to work. How are you going to provide feedback to people? Like if somebody is saying 3 things are true and 2 things aren't, how does that change the results that you provide back to them? It's a lot to think through, and it's very, very specific. But if you need help thinking through all of this, as I'm thinking through all of it for myself, I would love to meet with you. You can book me in the link down below. 30-minute session. We can probably knock out a lot of your questions and how to frame your report. I hope this was helpful to you. I think this is an interesting way to not only learn about your market, but also deepen your connections with your audience. We'll see you next time on Coach Factory.